Okay, so we are now back for the race. We're just going into the lobby now. Unfortunately, I have just been a little bit delayed getting in, so they're just going to the end of their formation lap. So we'll be straight into the action. Yeah, the lobby is all set up, same grid as before, everyone's back in. Yeah, just a shame about that, unfortunately, the game kind of letting us down there. But just a reminder, OMG's Joe is on pole, VS Verstappen second, Tom third, Morzo fourth, then Rosberg, Infamous, Danny, Syrah, KJ Gamer and Leopard rounding out the top 10. Disappointing sessions there for Syrah and Leopard. They'll be not too happy, but they can make up for it with a good start. What are people doing tyre-wise? We've got obviously the top 10 all on the softs. And then after that, we've got Zelchi on the super soft tyres, but then Ross, Marvin, and Rozzy on the mediums. I don't understand why you would start on the super soft tyres. That seems like an odd idea, but those medium tyres did work, that strategy, in the Tier 2 race for some people, as I mentioned in the qualifying stream. Anyway, here we go. 4 lights, 5 lights. We are racing here in URC Tier 1. Good start by OMG, it's Joe. Plenty of action going on there behind. Alfa Romeo making a good start. But Joe should be able to cover that into turn 1. VS Verstappen into second position. Top Tom holding third, but Rosberg going around the outside. Moving his Toro Rosso up into third position. Good start from him. Infamous also up a spot on Morzo. And Leopard making a good start. Goes side by side with Syrah. He's up 3 places, is Leopard. Very good start for him. And he's made up another one now on his teammate. Up into 6th, so fantastic start for him. Syrah has actually not made any progress whatsoever. Still down there towards the back end of the top 10. With the 2 Alfa Romeos there. TSRL locking out the end of the top 10, although Danny's challenging hard. And now KJ Gamer's going on the outside of Syrah, making this start really miserable now for Syrah. Down into 9th position. That's really not ideal for him. He's lost out badly there. Battle going on there. Infamous trying to go through on Top Tom. Top Tom is devoted another position there. Infamous going through nicely there on the inside. Let's have a quick look at the position changes. And yeah, big mover there is Leopard. Morzo going down 3. Actually, he's lost out quite badly. Syrah holding 8th position, but he would have hoped to make up positions because he'll obviously be wanting to fight for the podium. But that's going to be difficult from Joe crosses the line with a 6/10 advantage. Nice opening lap for him. Rosberg close behind in third as well. No gap over a second there in the whole field. Leopard going down the inside of Tom. Tom demoted now another spot. Obviously a fantastic qualifying for Tom to get into third, but he's just struggling to hold on to it now. Marvin is through on Rozzy there. A couple of Rozzy down another spot now. Those are a couple of guys there on the medium compound tyres. Race will come to them later on, but they're going to be a little bit slower here at the start. What a start this has been from Leopard though. Up 5 places now. Really what he wanted. What a start for VSR as well. The 2 VSR black cars in the top 3. Infamous 4th. That's worked out well for them. Obviously they would have been hoping for a bit more from Syrah, but he could do something from 8th. We know how strong he is. So don't write him off despite that kind of underwhelming start. Not a bad start because he hasn't lost anything, but underwhelming. You would have hoped to make up a few places. Gap stayed pretty much constant here. Still around half a second between every single car. So it's like 5/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 4/10. But no DRS here, so it's a little bit hard for cars to make a move. That's pretty close there between Zelchi and Danny for the final points position at the moment. Danny's got the inside covered off though. Oh, those Zelchi brakes very, very late, and also makes that move done, but he's done it off the track. So he's going to have to let him back through. Picks up a penalty because of that, but he has let Danny back through. DRS will be enabled, well, it has been enabled this lap. So next time they come onto the pit straight, there's going to be a boost there for following cars. Danny down. What's happened to Danny? He's into the wall, and I think he's just avoided the wall. Doesn't look like he's got damage, but he's definitely into the gravel and has dropped all the way down the field into 15th place. Disaster for him. And we just fended off Zelchi. But look at this, Joe pulling away over a second now, so he's not going to worry about the DRS. Looking really, really good for him at the moment. Obviously looking for a 5th victory, as we've said. And, yeah, looking good so far for him. Going to be a bit of a fight here between the VSR guys. We've got Rosberg pretty close behind Verstappen, though he hasn't had a great run through there. And that has in turn backed up the pack quite badly and has benefited Leopard out of everything. He's got a good chance now of going around the outside of Infamous with the use of DRS, but Infamous has got DRS himself, which kind of negates that advantage. Leopard tries to hold it around the outside, but Infamous now has the inside line going to turn 3, and that's compromised Leopard's run. Doesn't lose a position out of it, and he's still actually looking at Infamous, but he's not going to be able to make that move stick. Good defensive driving there from Infamous. That's just allowed the other 2 VSR guys, the VSR Black team, to get away. Tom, showing a bit of a wheel there, and almost spinning Leopard. We've got a yellow out there for Noel, I think, who's dropped down a couple of positions. And there's a 14th. Zelchi is our only guy on the super soft tyres, isn't he? He's not making really much use of that, only getting into the top 10. He would have hoped to make up a load of positions at the start with the extra grip. Those tyres aren't going to be good for very long. Syrah is up on KJ game. That's only for 8th place. He's struggling here. He's not really with the pack there. The pack for the... got a second down to 7th. He's just a little bit distant from. Over a second, in fact. Ooh, big tank slapper there from Morzo as he got onto the gravel. He's going to be slow going onto the straight, and that gives Syrah the opportunity. He was a second back, but Morzo lost a lot of time there on the exit of the corner. And Syrah is up a position. That's a shame for Morzo. He's kind of lost track now. Zelchi into the pits already on those super soft tyres. Really don't know why he started on them. I'm very confused by that. It's going to be an uphill struggle for him now to get a result out of this. Look at this, OMG it's Joe 2 seconds clear. We saw the tier 2 race, Kibo running away with the lead. Joe not really doing it to the same kind of extent as that, but not far off. Great effort from him so far in this race. And this is probably the most dominant we've seen him so far this season. He's won those 4 races by very, very small margins, and this one looks, at the moment, like he could just run away with it. Rosberg is through on Verstappen. I completely missed that. Sorry, because they're both Toro Rossos, I haven't even noticed. Rosberg is into second position ahead of Verstappen. Of course, that's a change of position there. Completely missed that, just because they're 2 Toro Rossos. But still, they're looking a little bit clear of 4th place. 2nd and 3rd there. They're just keeping it clean, and that's benefiting them. As Morzo back up into 7th position ahead of Syrah now. 1 lap after losing it, after running onto the gravel, he's back up into 7th. But he's distant now, over a second behind the battle from the kind of second down, where everyone's within a second. Obviously made up 5 places at the beginning, couldn't get past Infamous for 4th. Couple of laps to go and still stuck behind for the moment. Infamous looking pretty strong here. This is an important race, as we said. The battle for second position. Syrah not having a great race. Pinecone not here, his teammate. So if Leopard could get onto the podium, he'll take a good stride there on his opponents. Obviously Syrah not out of it, but struggling for pace. This in qualifying, start of the race, and now as well. So good opportunity here for Leopard. And in terms of the constructors, obviously only 1 driver for IRL Black, but the full 25 is going to be going to him at the moment, and possibly fastest that point as well. Well, no, Morzo's taken that off him, and Verstappen's looking to get second position here off Rosberg. He just sticks behind though, plays the percentage game obviously with his teammate. A big gamble, sticks behind. Leopard, on the other hand, not behind a teammate, so he's going to be pushing a little bit harder. Not able to get through, though. Still in 5th position as it currently stands. Tom obviously lost 3 positions at the start, but he's hanging on now with the help of DRS. He's just hanging on at the back of this pack. Probably hasn't quite got the pace of Leopard though, and Morzo is closing him back down. Now well within a second, and Sira holding on to Morzo as well. Kind of our top 9 really close, well, other than the leader, and then a bit of a gap down to Marvin, ERL, 10th and 11th. Morzo making really good gains on Top Tom. It wouldn't surprise me if he's passed him by the end of this upcoming straight. Verstappen could have the opportunity as well, really close behind, almost pushing Rosberg through the chicane. 0.3 of a second, the DRS should be able to get him through. No, he doesn't quite have the straight line speed you'd expect. And he sticks behind once again. Leopard looking down the inside though. Not able to get through though. This kind of DRS train here, kind of making it hard to overtake almost, because the straight line speed isn't too different between all the cars. And Rosberg at the front of it seems to have good straight line speed. Oh, what an aggressive move there from Leopard. Diving it down the inside, but he's made it stick. And cleanly as well. Fantastic move from him there, up into 4th position. Did not see that one coming at all. Not really a proper braking zone there into turn 4, but wow, he's made it stick on Infamous, and he's up in position. Now he's got the 2 Toro Rossos ahead of him. And Morzo right behind Top Tom. Top Tom himself has closed up nicely though on this pack. Look how close this is, 2nd to 9th now. They're all just getting closer and closer. Morzo now going down the inside of Top Tom. They're going to go be side by side. And Top Tom holds on. They're just costing themselves a little bit of time here. But Morzo quite enthusiastic to try and get through here. He'll have another opportunity on the straight. And he gave it a good go there. Leopard looking really close now to Verstappen. Verstappen might be ruining not really having a go at Rosberg over these last few laps, because now he's under threat himself. Leopard going down the inside, and he's going to be ahead going into the corner, I think. No, not quite. And Verstappen manages to hold on with a very late bit of braking there. Fighting for that hard and really doing a very good job to stay ahead of Leopard. I thought Leopard had that on the inside. Zelchi goes fast, and of course he's made a pit stop already, a 19.9 there. Look at this, yeah, Top Tom dropped back off. He kind of caught up with those guys, but then fighting with Morzo last lap has cost him a little bit of time. Sira's picked up a 3-second time penalty already. That is disastrous for him. We saw plenty of penalties in the Tier 2 race. I expect the same here. But to already have a penalty on lap 9 is not very good. Leopard going down the inside of Verstappen, trying to get through again, and this time he's got it done. Very good move from him. All this is just helping Joe pull away so much. 4.4 seconds now he's got at the front of the field. And Rosberg now has to fight off Leopard, which will be very different from fighting his teammate. Verstappen kind of played it safe, stayed behind. Leopard is not going to do the same thing, I wouldn't imagine. But Rosberg did a good job there, just backed him up slightly in the chicane, and that means that Leopard didn't have the best of runs going onto the straight, but he's still going to be side by side with him going into turn 1. And he's got it done. That technically didn't quite work for Rosberg. I thought he'd got a better run onto the straight, but the DRS there that Rosberg didn't have and Leopard did allows Leopard to move into 2nd position. So he's made up 8 places from his grid position, has Leopard. He's up into 2nd position. He's got one hell of a job if he wants to catch up with OMG. It's Joe, 4.6 seconds, but he has showed very good pace so far this race. And he's already pulling away from Rosberg. And I do think Verstappen's going to be really disappointed that he didn't have a go on his teammate, because it's now meant that he's been passed by Leopard and he's vulnerable behind to yet another VSR driver. They're all travelling in packs here. The VSR black drivers, also the one VSR red driver there, Sira at the back of this group. And W. Knowles picked up a penalty as well. As I said, yeah, we are going to see a lot of penalties. Doesn't really matter for Noel at the moment because he's not in the top 10, but plenty of time to work himself into there. Zelchi has retired for the race. He's on 1 man to pit so far, and he's also out of the race now. Rosberg is into the pits. Crikey, it's lap 11 already, so yeah, that's not a surprise seeing him in. Obviously, he's been struggling a little bit for pace, but he's still in a good position, so he'll be looking to maybe undercut Leopard, get back in front of him, and certainly hold on to his podium position at the very least by making that early stop. All the other positions have stayed the same. Morzo's still not through on Top Tom. He's been looking to make that move for a couple of laps now. Just can't quite make it stick. This will be really interesting, that this pit stop phase with all the drivers so close. If you get your strategy right, you get your entry into the pits right, or if another car gets held up, say, waiting for the other cars, the order could be really shaken up. You could quite easily drop from a podium position all the way down to 9th, with KJ Gamer there at the moment in 8th, but obviously we've already seen Rosberg into the pits. It's worked out nicely for Rosberg. He's in clear air. So he's got the opportunity here to bang in a good lap and move up. But Leopards look really good. Since he got through on Rosberg, he's pulled away very nicely. He stays out for another one. He's playing the long game. But Infamous responds to the pit stop, obviously, of Rosberg. Here comes Morzo. This is his best opportunity yet to get through on Top Tom, and I think he's going to make it stick now. Is he, though? Top Tom not giving up once again. But Morzo's now got the line yet, and he gets through. Top Tom didn't give that up, but Morzo just had the right line into turn 3. Made it stick. He's up into 4th position now. Where's the Infamous come out? He's come out behind Rosberg, but not by much. That's sort of the gap it was. Rosberg hasn't really gained anything, although his tyres would have been a little bit cold going out the pits. Now they'll be up to temperature. You expect them to pull away in this first sector or two on Infamous. But that gap pretty similar to what it was, so no massive gains from Rosberg by pitting early there. But that's only one lap. He's still got clear air. These guys are continuing on. The tyres are going to be kind of giving up a little bit of grip now on lap 12. I mean, they're still not going to be in that bad a condition. They'll be giving you really good lap time, but not optimum, that is for sure. What about those guys who started on the medium compound tyres? Well, it's working for Marvin, but no one else really. Roz and Rozzy, I think, is the other guy on the medium tyres. Just hasn't worked for them. They haven't got the pace to keep up. But Marvin, you never know, he's starting to come good here. Right, MGX Joe is into the pits. This should be no problem for him. He had a nice big gap behind, so he should have nice clear air there. No, he doesn't. He's been held up. He's been held in the pits. What's this for? Oh no, he hasn't. It's just lag. Leopards into the pits. He's nice and clear of Verstappen, but how's he going to compare to the other guys of Rosberg? He's still ahead. He's still ahead of Rosberg. That's worked out well. He's got 2 lap fresher tyres and he's still ahead of Rosberg. But Infamous has jumped Verstappen. Infamous has jumped Verstappen there. And Top Tom has lost out quite badly. Top Tom actually over a second now behind Verstappen. What's Morzo doing now? He's doing one more lap. Syrah, KJ Gamer as well, still out there. You would think that they'll be in this lap. They're the final people that we'll be expecting to see into the pits. I thought Joe had been held up, but he hadn't. He's still got the problem now, though, of having to get through these medium tyre runners of Rozzy and Roz. Marvin a little bit up the road, the leading guy on those medium compound tyres. They'll probably look to do about another 5 laps at least, you would imagine. Morzo in, Syrah in, KJ Gamer in. So there we go. Last of the soft compound runners into the pits. Apart from Noel, Noel's on the soft compound tyres. He hasn't pitted yet, but let's be honest, he was a little bit distant. There comes Morzo out of pits. KJ Gamer comes into his box. That all stays the same. That's the same order as it was, although Syrah has gained a bit on Morzo. Where's Morzo going to come out? He was obviously by Top Tom, and it's worked out for him quite well because he's going to be side by side with Verstappen. But Verstappen just stays in front. But that's worked out. Top Tom had a bad pit stop there because he's lost out. Even though he pitted a lap earlier, he's lost out to Syrah and hasn't managed to regain a spot on Morzo. He's got the warmer tyres though, so he'll look to repass Syrah, but he can't quite do it. He cannot do it. He's staying behind. So that's not worked out well for Tom, losing out to Syrah there. Morzo, I'd say, it has worked out for, but he's kind of just kept position. but he's got a lap fresher tyres, which is a benefit. Verstappen being held up by Noel. That's not good for him. He's got a bit of a gap of over a second to Morzo at the moment, but if he gets held up by Noel for too long, Morzo will be within his DRS. He gets through now. I think that's probably just in the nick of time in terms of DRS. Leopard is under threat of DRS from Rosberg, but 7/10 shouldn't be a problem. You wouldn't think that that would be conducive to an overtaking opportunity. Joe is through on Rossi, and now he's through on Ros as well. That has worked out ideally for him. The one hurdle of getting through the back markers, well, not the back markers, sorry, those yet to pit. It's harsh to call them back markers, although they were towards the back end of the order. He's through. That was his one problem, so he's got this. MG's Joe has got this race in the bag. Leopard doing all he can to extend that advantage in second position. That's looking good for him. And Rosberg versus Infamous at the moment for the final podium spot. Net, of course. Verstappen's dropped off. As I said, I think he should have gone for a move on Rosberg, because he's been passed by Verstappen, and then in the pit stops he's lost out as well. He could have quite easily been neck and neck with Leopard still at this point, but he's quite a few seconds down now. Sira seems to have picked up the pace. Wasn't too quick at the start, but now he's kind of got the same pace as Morzo, which early on he didn't. He definitely didn't. Morzo was the next car up from him and was pulling away by about a second, or had a gap, sorry, of about a second, before he made a little bit of a mistake. So yeah, that's looking good for Sira. He looks like he's picked up the pace now, and a good result is still possible here. Definitely top 5. Still a podium. He's done the fastest lap of the race, just to emphasise that point to me. And this is going to be interesting. Obviously, Joe is through on the guys yet to pit, but Leopard isn't. And he's just coming up to them now. This could change things. This could really bunch things up. As Infamous looks really, really strong at the moment. Looks to be ever so slightly faster than Rosberg. He just doesn't have the pace of Leopard. Leopard pulling away nicely from Rosberg. He's definitely the second quickest driver here today. Here's Leopard. But he is being held up. This isn't going to be too pleasing for him. He's got a DRS straight coming up now. He made an overtake here earlier, and he's going to make one here now, but it's a lot easier with the fresher tyres. But he's through. That's the crucial thing. That's working out nicely for him now. He's got a good gap on the rest of the pack. And it could help Rosberg here, because I think he's going to be just within a second, is he? Ooh. No, not quite. I was going to say, if he was within the second, it would have given him DRS to defend from Infamous. As it turns out, Infamous hasn't had a good run through the chicane, so Rosberg should be fine. But you can just see there the benefit of DRS just helping Infamous close down a little bit there on the straight, although Infamous is like he was braking quite right into turn 1. Verstappen closing in now, yep, he is closing in on Infamous. That was about a second and a half. Now it's a second, so he's looking good. Morzo is looking good on Verstappen. Sira's looking good on Morzo. So they're all kind of going together. And Top Tom as well, and KJ Gamer. They're all still close. Even at the start of this second stint, they're all sticking together still. Not a gap of over a second from Rosberg down to KJ Gamer. And they are now into the guys yet to pit. Leopard is through on Ros. And now Rosberg is up to Rossi. I'm surprised he hasn't caught up with him already. The gap was around a second going into the across the line, and he's only just caught up with him there. And this is really closing things down. Look how close they are now, all of these guys. It's crucial that Rosberg gets through on Rossi here straight away. Look at all these Rosses we've got. Rossi and Rosberg. But Rosberg, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get through. He looks down the inside, but Rossi has the DRS on Ros, and that means that Rosberg can't get through on Rossi. And that is really not good. Rosberg losing a lot of time here. Infamous closing in on him. Rosberg now goes down the inside and gets that move done. But I think Infamous could come straight through as well on Rossi here, because he's now off the line, and he does. That's worked out brilliantly for Infamous. Kind of following through Rosberg there pretty much. And look how close he is now on Rosberg. He's still got Ros to deal with. He's dealt with Rossi, but he's still got Ross to go. He's not going to be able to pass him here, is he? He has a look, but he's not going to be able to get it done too far back, for sure. So he's going to have to wait until the DRS straight. And a similar thing could happen here. Verstappen through on Rossi as well. They're all getting through cleanly, but they're having to be quite aggressive here to lose the minimum possible time. And there comes Ros, so does... No, Marvin's just been passed, but Ros is into the pits there on the medium compound tyres. So is Rossi, so they're all out of the way now. And that's left us with these guys so close still with each other. Look at that. Rosberg, Infamous, Verstappen, Morzo, all coming through. Neck and neck, pretty much. Just a slight gap between Verstappen and Morzo is all there is, pretty much, I'd say. And even that's not substantial. That's still under a second. Leopard has just shot off there. There's no doubt that he has the pace over these guys. Look how tightly matched these guys are. This is fantastic to see. Oh, let's think about penalties now. I think that Syrah is the only guy out of these battling that has got a penalty, I believe, so far. But there's still 14 laps to go, so plenty of opportunity for someone to pick up a penalty as well. But I believe that he's the only one out of this battling pack who has a 3-second penalty as it currently stands, and that would drop him right to the back, no questions asked. Currently sitting in 8th, he would easily drop behind Top Tom and KJ Gamer. Joe has done the fastest lap of the race. He's had such good pace today, an incredible job from him. But maybe some of the guys who have pitted, like Marvin, could pick up that bonus point. Oh, Infamous is through on Rosberg. Oh my goodness, I completely missed that. Infamous is through on Rosberg and into the final podium position. Rosberg is going to want to fight back straight away, but he can't quite do it. And Infamous is up into 3rd position. Yeah, Marvin should be in the top 10. He could steal the fastest lap off OMG Joe with the soft compound tyres, but that's going to be a tough effort because that's a good lap there by OMG Joe on, at the moment, for 26 points. Look at this though, the VSR guys still, they've been literally, Infamous, Rosberg, Verstappen have been together the whole race, not in the same order the whole time, they've been together the whole race there. That's a really good effort by those guys. Morzo, I think Morzo's got really good pace, but has just struggled to overtake people, which is tough to do when there's, as I said earlier, a big DRS train. It makes overtaking hard. But I do think Morzo's got really good pace. Whenever a gap is made, he closes it up straight away to the car in front. So I think Morzo could be a contender here for a podium position. He's onto the grass as he's had such a good run out of the final corner. And he's side by side with Verstappen. But being pushed onto the grass, I think, has kind of cost him a little bit and might allow Verstappen to stay in front. It does. In fact, Syrah looking around the outside, but Syrah very sensibly decides to back off there ever so slightly. Top Tom, though, has taken benefit of that and moved through on Syrah. Great bit of optimistic driving from him there, and that demotes Syrah down into 8th position. Could have been worse though for Syrah. I think he would have made contact with Morzo if he'd stuck it down the inside into turn 2. Look at that, Morzo had such a good run onto the straight that it kind of compromised him really, because he just didn't have a... He kind of had to back off almost, move into the right hand side of Verstappen. And that's what I'm saying, it's just so hard to overtake because Verstappen then had DRS, so just making things difficult here for Morzo. But I do think he's got good pace. I think he could be a contender here, as long as he doesn't fall away too much from Infamous. He's looking good, has got through on Rosberg, and has created a bit of a gap. Not much, only half a second, but that is somewhat of a gap in this race. We haven't seen much of that so far. The only guy who's been able to create a gap has been Leopard. And yeah, that's up to 7 tenths now, so that's looking good for Infamous. He's done a good job there on these last couple of laps. And that podium, at the moment, looking good. VSR have a... oh, well, they did, sorry, have a 100% podium record before this race started. Marvin has taken the fastest lap. Good job from him. He's used the soft compound tyres, and at the moment, he's only on for 1 point in terms of a top 10, but also a fastest lap point, using those soft compound tyres nicely. He'll have a lot of work to catch up with this train, but he's had a solid race, and yeah, he's going to be benefited there as well. Era Ros 3-second time penalty for him. But again, outside the top 10, so it shouldn't really affect him, although he would drop a position behind Danny. Oh, he's just lost out to Rossi. Here comes Morzo. Once again, he's closed it down. A bit of a gap was created on Verstappen when he was challenged by Sirra into turn 2, but he's closed it back down again. I think Morzo could easily pass the two Toro Rossos here. Don't know about Infamous. He looks strong to me. Although this lap, Rosberg's kept the gap the same. Oh, KJ Gamer's through on Sirra, and Sirra's picked up another time penalty. That's 2 time penalties he's got now, and he's at the back of the pack, and he's fallen away a little bit as well, having been passed by KJ Gamer. Sirra could only get 2 points out of this race at the moment. It's hard to argue against that with 2 time penalties. Where is he going to gain positions? He'd have to be at the front of this pack to even beat KJ Gamer. Such is the closeness. Look at that, Infamous. Still 7 tenths. Oh, mistake by Verstappen. He's run it onto the grass. Well held, though. I thought he would have spun that. He's lost 2 positions. He's dropped behind Morzo and Top Tom. But he was very lucky there not to spin, getting his car on the grass. Into turn 4. Sorry, turn 4. But that's promoted Morzo up a broken that trio of Infamous, Rosberg and Verstappen. Rosberg's out as well. What is going on here for VSR? The 2 Toro Rossos both off the track completely by themselves as well. First Verstappen and then Rosberg. And Rosberg's actually lost out more there, dropping behind his teammate. What a disastrous few seconds there for Toro Rosso. The VSR Black team have lost a lot of points there, dropping from 4th and 5th to 6th and 7th. And that's a nice gap for Infamous. He now is out of DRS, but Morzo is the next car up, and I've been speaking quite highly of Morzo over the last few laps about his pace. We'll see. This is his opportunity now. Rosberg, sorry, on the defence from KJ Gamer. We might lose out another spot here as KJ Gamer makes the move at turn 2, and Sirra might even make it even worse for Rosberg. Does hold on for now. Yeah, look at that. What a disaster for the VSR Black team. It was a good thing they didn't. They could have been a lot worse. Both of them managed to avoid spinning the car, but they lost a lot of time. Or not, well, they lost a fair amount of time, but it's positional that it's cost them more. Here comes Morzo. Within a second of Infamous. If you can get within a second, that makes things easier for him then in the DRS. But that's the tough bit, getting within a second. Infamous is strong. You're going to have to push a lot to get within his DRS, I think. Top Tom at the moment, up into 5th. Lost out at the start. Dropped from 3rd to 6th on lap 1. But has since kept with these guys. And by keeping it clean, has benefited nicely. Lost out slightly in the pit stop phase, but not too badly, as they were all closed down, passing the medium tyre runners. Look at this from Marvin, blimey! He was about 9 seconds back a few laps to go, and now he's about 5 on Sirra. Oh, Verstappen's picked up a time penalty! That's not good for him. What is going on for Toro Rosso in these last few laps? That will drop him down very, very badly. We know Sirra's got a penalty as well, but that's going to drop him behind KJ Gamer and his teammate Rosberg, that 3-second time penalty. And if the guys in front don't get penalties, it kind of costs him any chance of benefiting from any mistakes or an overtake. So, that's really bad for Verstappen. Those 3 seconds are going to cost him. Morzo within a second now of Infamous, using the DRS on the back straight. Not really much benefit on that straight. Probably about a tenth you can get out of it, maybe. As he's shown there now, about 6/10. It's just about setting it up for the main straight, which is the crucial thing. He's kind of dropped Top Tom. Top Tom outside of a second now. Verstappen will be challenging Top Tom very shortly. But this is the battle for the final podium position. I think it's going to happen here into turn 1 because Infamous has not had a good run whatsoever. And Morzo with the DRS in the slipstream as well. Pulls to the inside now. There's a head going into turn 1. He gets the move done. And he moves the second War LCR A car onto the podium there. And this is exactly what I was talking about in the kind of qualifying preamble about the championship. Only one ILR black driver here today. It's OMG, it's Joe. He's going to win, surely. You never know, though. But LCR, War LCR is still going to be gaining points on them because they've got their cars in a good position in second and third. Morzo moving up from the B team to the A team for this race, and he's going to give them a crucial 15 points. Very good effort from him. Infamous isn't going to give this up, though. There's no doubting that. Infamous is not going to give up on a podium. But I do think that Morzo just has a little bit more pace. And they are starting to spread out slightly now. Rosberg has dropped off from KJ Gamer. And Syrah likewise has fallen away. So those guys not looking good. We know Verstappen has a penalty as well. Another penalty for NW Knoll. He's had at least 2. Possibly 3. No changes this lap. Boy oh boy has this race flown by. These cars have been so close all race that it's made it a very entertaining one. And we've only got 7 laps remaining now. 6.5 really, when you think about it. Yeah, it's flown by. The non-stop action in this fight for the podium place, the final podium place. But Morzo just starting to pull away slightly. 7/10 now, that gap. That's more than it was last time round, I think. But it is tough for him because Infamous has got the DRS, so he just gains the 10th here. On the straight, he'll gain 2 or 3 tenths. So even if he's not able to repass Morzo, he's able to stick with him. Maybe save a bit of the ERS as well on the straight and tee it up for a move later on, fighting back. But that is all dependent on sticking within a second, which he's doing at the moment. But it's getting close to a second, isn't it? Oh, it almost is there. Pretty much is a second there. He's going to gain back a few tenths now, though, with the DRS. But if anything, if I was Infamous, I've now got to be looking behind me because Top Tom is coming strong here. Verstappen showing good pace as well. Syrah is through on Rosberg. Race is going from bad to worse for it. Well, sorry, from a good, solid result here for Rosberg to a disappointing one, unfortunately. Yeah, it is such a shame when you're this close, if you think about it. Rosberg's 9th, but he was in the fight for 3rd. He hasn't really made a catastrophic error. He just ran a little bit wide into the gravel, and out of it, it's dropped him a lot of points. Infamous is outside of a second. Infamous is outside of a second. This is looking good for Morzo. He's got the gap that he wants. And now it just makes things so much easier for him not having Infamous with DRS behind him. And it makes things really tough for Infamous because Top Tom was gaining on him anyway, but now Infamous doesn't have the benefit of DRS himself, so he's vulnerable to a possible attack from Top Tom here. Top Tom has really come strong in this second stint. And this is a good opportunity for him to take 4th position. I think he's slightly too far back, but Infamous still has to defend. And that's exactly what Top Tom will want, because that kind of just stops Infamous getting into a rhythm if he's having to defend at the end of the straight. Morzo's got this now. 1.5 seconds. That's nice. He's pulling away. Looks like it's going to be a double podium for the War LCR guys. Oh, there goes KJ Gamer on Verstappen. Bit of contact, I think, there. Doesn't look like it's cost the pair any of their front wing. But just a tad of time. Actually, no, they haven't really lost much time there. Maybe it was just a really small tap. Infamous have got the hammer down a bit on this lap. He's pulled away a few tenths from Top Tom. Oh, there comes KJ Gamer again, going for a very aggressive move. A couple of them down the inside now. He's through on Verstappen. I think he pushed him a little bit there. And Verstappen's picked up another penalty. That's 6 seconds for him as well. Both him and Sira have 6 seconds of penalties. So these guys kind of falling out the battle due to their penalties. And Rosberg just falling away on pace. So really, I think, well, now Morzo's gone. I think the fight is really just for this 4th place now. Sira is through on Verstappen. Both got 6 seconds, so Sira will be ahead of Verstappen, but they'll both be behind Rosberg at the moment, as long as Rosberg doesn't pick up a penalty. But yeah, I think those guys are gone now. It's going to be the fight for 4th in the last 4 laps. Infamous versus Tom versus KJ Gamer. Gamer going very aggressive there. I don't think he did anything wrong necessarily. I don't want to commit myself either way until we've got to see the onboards really for these to make a clear move. But it was aggressive, no doubt. But it's worked for him because he's into 6th now. But he hasn't quite been able to close in on Top Tom. 7/10 of a second that gap, so not going to be able to eye up a move on him. And that allows Top Tom, just with that bit of a gap, not much, but bit of a gap, to kind of just focus on his attack rather than having to worry about defence at all. Half a second though, so Infamous should be able to stay ahead for now. 3 laps from it. So Top Tom's got to think about doing it soon. Half a second, 4/10. He could be close enough to think about it here. Infamous blocks the inside line again. That happened a couple of laps ago, and the same thing's happened here. Top Tom not quite close enough, but close enough to make Infamous think about it. They're only going to go through turn 1 twice more, and that's not the only overtaking spot, but it's a good one. It's definitely the main one. Along with the hairpin at the start of Sector 3, which I believe is turn 10. And those are your 2 best zones, but no doubt that turn 1 is the most frequently used for an overtake. MG, it's Joe. Let's just quickly update on him. 5-second gap on Leopard, then another 5 seconds back to Morzo. He's got 2.5 seconds now, so podium places looking set in. As long as Morzo doesn't pick up a penalty, I guess. 3 seconds would drop him behind. Not only Infamous, but Top Tom as well, actually. But he looks good for that final podium position. This is the closest Top Tom's been. This is his best opportunity. 3/10 of a second. If he gets a good run out of here, he'll have a fantastic opportunity at the end of the straight to take 4th position. Here he comes. He's not close enough again. Infamous closes off the inside line. And stays in 4th. So, less than 2 laps to go now. Top Tom is running out of time. Has closed up on these guys, but it's the penalty. The penalty is going to cost him. Although, having said that, he should now finish out of Rosberg. Tom Rosso's completely dropped off. So Sira will finish ahead of Rosberg and will finish ahead of Verstappen because Verstappen has 2 time penalties as well. So Sira will pick up 6 points out of this. He won't be able to beat any of these guys overall, but he might be able to pass them on track. He might be able to get in the battle for this 4th position and change things. He might be able to benefit his teammate maybe slightly if he could slow up KJ Gamer, although the main threat is still Top Tom. But he's only really got a couple more chances now. As I've said, turn 1, turn 10. And turn 1 is definitely your best and really your only easy move if you get the run right. He hasn't had a good run though. That's not a good run onto the straight there, I don't think. Yeah, it's still about half a second. Top Tom's going to have to use all of his ERS here, to get close enough here to overtake, I think. Infamous has done a very good job. And he tailed it Infamous has held it. Top Tom now has to think creatively if he's going to make a move stick. Marvin's still on Rosberg. Rosberg has completely dropped off here. He's only going to get 1 point out of this. Marvin up into 9th place, and he's got the fastest lap as well, so that's 3 points there for ERL. They desperately need those points in Tier 1. So that's really, really good for him. Oh, there goes Sira up the inside. Very aggressive move there on KJ Gamer. We saw KJ Gamer making moves like that earlier, and he's had a bit of a taste of his own medicine there, but he's trying to fight back. He doesn't really need to now, though. He's lost out on 4th and 5th, but he will still beat Sira because of the penalties. But Infamous is going to hold on here. Infamous has got it. He's got 4th position. He lost out to Morzo for the podium, but he's held on to 4th. A good defensive drive there to hold on from Top Tom. There was no challenge in this man, though. KJ Gamer's back through on Sira. OMG, it's Joe takes his 5th consecutive win. 126 points in the championship from 5 rounds. Amazing from him. Leopard moves up to 2nd in the championship with 2nd in the race. He's backed up by a... Oh, no, he doesn't. He had a penalty. Morzo's jumped him. Infamous comes home 4th. Top Tom 5th. KJ Gamer 6th. Sira in 7th. Verstappen crashes across the line, finishes 8th. Marvin is 9th. Rosberg... Oh, Rosberg takes 9th because Marvin had a couple of penalties. Still a disappointing race for those guys. They've both crashed across the line. They've both finished 8th and 9th, despite being in the battle for the podium early on. They were 2nd and 3rd in the opening laps. But wow, I didn't get that. Leopard obviously had a penalty, which has dropped him behind Morzo. Or a couple of penalties. He had a couple of penalties because the gap was over 3 seconds. So he still moves into 2nd in the championship, does Leopard, but that's yet more points that OMG It's Joe takes in the championship. So he's gained 10 on Leopard, and Leopard was 1 point behind Sira going into this race anyway. So this championship lead now for OMG It's Joe is going to be somewhat incredible. It's going to be, let me just do a bit of quick maths, it's going to be 64 points after 5 rounds. No, not, sorry. Yeah, 64 points. Yeah, that's right. Doubted myself for a moment there. 64 points leading the championship. The gap is closed in the Constructors, though. RR Black will have lost 8 points on War LCR A, so that's down to 24 points there. Constructors Championship battle looking much more fiercely fought now than the drivers. Fantastic job, though, by OMG It's Joe. He really deserves that championship lead. This was his most dominant performance. Oh no, it was only 1 penalty for Leopard. Morzo obviously closed him down a lot at the end to get within 3 seconds. Mighty job from him. But yeah, that was his easiest win by far there for OMG It's Joe. A great win by there. 9.5 seconds over Morzo. Leopard dropping to 3rd. Infamous in 4th. Top Tom had a penalty as well. I didn't even realise that. I missed quite a few penalties. He was 5th on track anyway. KJ Gamer 6th. Versus Sira in 7th. Wow, there really were a lot of penalties. Missed loads of those. Verstappen in 8th. Rosberg 9th. ERL Marvin picking up points on his debut. Fastest lap as well. So 2 points for him, despite coming 10th. Roz, Noel, Danny, and Zelchi didn't finish. Don't know why he retired, but he did. Well, there we go then. That's the result. And I've got to catch my breath a bit there. There was a lot of action in that race, a lot of closely fought battling in the podium places, but there was no touching OMG It's Joe at the front, and Leopard showed really good pace as well. He deserves 2nd place in terms of pace, but at the end of the day, if you corner cut, you know that you're going to get a penalty out of it. So there we go. We'll try and get a few interviews with our drivers quickly after that race. If you've got any questions yourself, put it in the chat. I'll ask the drivers what the audience want. So if you've got ask you, I'll try and quickly get these guys into the party. Nice. Whoop. Something here. Okay, so what have we got? As we've got Morzo and Joe just waiting on Leopard. That'll be good to go. Just have a quick chat with our drivers. There we go, they're all in. So make sure to include your audio, guys, and we will, of course, start off with. Oh no, I was going to say let's start off with our race winner, but he's just left the party. So let's wait a few more seconds, see if he rejoins.
Gives me a second to open my window at least because I'm sweating. Right, there we go.
Right. Oh, I've just got a message from Joe. Let me just check this quickly. Yeah. Right, so once again, include your audio, and let's get into this, starting with our race winner, OMG It's Joe, 5th win of the season. And I think it'd be fair to say that this was your easiest. Incredible pace from start to finish.
Yeah, I don't think the pace was that spectacular. I didn't really do much practice. I think it was the fact that I could just get away at the start. And if I'm honest, I knew Leopard was going to be the main competition here, as he's pretty rapid around here. But when I saw him down in P10, kind of realised, okay, this is my chance. If I can bolt away at the start, break the DRS train, I should have a pretty good chance of winning. And yeah, once I'd done that, it was all about pushing in the soft stint to get the gap, and then in the mediums, I was just cruising along just to make sure my tyre wear was fine. And yeah, it was towards the end, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, I think Leopard might have had tyre issues towards the end because he dropped off suddenly quite a lot.
But even it was a really good performance. As I kind of said, it was never really in doubt that you were going to win, and you now lead the championship by 64 points, if my maths is correct. 5 wins out of 5. This has got to be probably a dream come true. I don't think you could have expected this season to have started this well, could you?
No, absolutely not. If you told me at the start of the season, out of the first 5 races, I would have got a win, I would have been pretty happy with that. But to win every single race is kind of insane. And yeah, I'm quite speechless, to be honest. I'm not really sure how it's all happened. It's not like I've been the quickest. Like back here, I was definitely not the quickest at all. It's just I've kind of like worked my way around my problems I've had during the race, and yeah, just come out on top really.
Yeah, I kind of said before the race that those 4 races, I have no idea how you've come out on top of all of them, but it just shows the great consistency that you've put in, and you're definitely the man to beat now. Everyone's going to be looking to do it, and we'll get on to Morzo now. You had a fantastic race-long battle with loads of different people, and in the end you managed to get through, work your way to 3rd position, and then move up to 2nd because of a penalty for Leopard. A really good performance, and yeah, how did you think the race went?
Well, considering I finished 2nd, very, very well, considering the position I put myself in at the start of the race. I mean, qualifying was pretty decent. I left a tiny bit of time on the table, but I probably would have been maybe good enough for 2nd. I don't think I would have quite got through for pole, but yeah, it was. I was surprised with my pace today. It was really, really good, which is so frustrating at the same time because one of the worst starts I've had off the line in quite a while. I was just shot myself in the foot off the start, and then yeah, Joe was just able to control the race from there and get away from the train. And yeah, the train, goodness me, that was that was stressful. Trying to get past all of those guys. Got held for about 2.5 seconds in the pits as well, so that put me way down to the back on the mediums. But yeah, luckily enough, I just had to try and keep focused, and yeah, I knew I had the pace over the whole train to get at least into 3rd. unfortunate for the Torossos. It helped me a treat. Unfortunately, they made mistakes. I think on the same lap, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think it was the same lap, so that opened up quite nicely. And then Infamous. I just had a little bit of a pace advantage on him today, so I was able to pass him, and then getting Leopard on the line, or not on the line, on the during a penalty. Was decent enough. I think he was just trying to save the tyres. But congrats to Joe. 5 wins out of 5. That's just incredible, to be honest. Shows the talent he's got, and congrats to Leopard as well. It's a good 2-3 today. Good team result. So yeah, I'm a much needed race for me. Much needed result. I'm happy enough.
Yeah, and obviously you've gained points, 8 points in the league championship, which is really important for the team. Obviously, you stepped into the A team and you did them proud. So, yeah, maybe Pinecone gets the rock now.
Nah, he'll get his rightful place in the A team once he returns, I'm sure. But yeah, it's good race all around. Just unfortunate about the start, falling back a few positions, but yeah, I can't be too disappointed really with that.
Okay, now we'll move on to our final podium sitter. I thought, I didn't even realise that you had a penalty, but unfortunately that dropped you into 3rd position. You had really good pace there. You obviously had a disappointing qualifying starting from 10th, but had a good start, worked your way through and were able to pull away. So overall a positive race in terms of pace, but it must be a little bit disappointing having that penalty costing you 2nd position.
Yeah. Yeah, it's frustrating, but it's my own fault, so only really myself to blame. Car felt pretty awful throughout, I don't know, the first 20 laps, and then from lap 20 to lap 30, it finally got rhythm going, then suddenly checked my tyre and absolute panic, having to load the diff, just lean mix, none, everything, and just save the tyres, make sure they get to the end, and annoyingly more so got me on the line, but yeah, frustrating, but it is what it is. I'm sure hopefully I can challenge Joe at some point. It's getting rather annoying for me to see him out of the front, but fair play. He's doing his bit, so I'm sure I can battle him at some point throughout the course of the season, and maybe try and each the gap his lead at some point. Maybe, who knows.
Well, you are now the closest man to him. Obviously, Sira didn't have a brilliant race today, so you've jumped ahead of him, and there was no Pinecone. So you are the closest man, but a very long way to go. 64 points. Are you up for the fight? Do you think you can make it down, catch him up?
I think I can, but I'll have to wait and see, if results go my way. I mean, all it takes is 2 wins to be into DNS for Joe, and suddenly I'm within 14 points, and it's all to play for. It's a long season. We've done, 5 rounds of a 21 race season. So 16 to go. Plenty of time to make up the gap, and we'll see what happens.
And of course, next time out is going to be an interesting one because it's Monaco. So anything can happen there. As you say, it is a long season, but Monaco could be a big one in terms of a point swing. That'll be where we come to next on the Xbox side, but there is more action tonight. You can go and watch the PS4 race now. But anyway, that's it from the Xbox side. Thank you very much for watching today, and goodbye.